What if I told you there's this tiny little psychological trick that can completely break years of procrastination? And no, it's not about building new habits or, buying some fancy planner. It's about one simple action you can take the moment you feel that hesitation setting in.
Seriously, just think about it. Imagine what you could actually get done if you could finally stop delaying and just start. Well, that's exactly the promise of what we're about to get into. Today, we're going to break down the technique to make that a reality for you.
The key to unlocking all of this, the secret to literally overriding your brain's default programming, it all comes down to one single really powerful number.
Yep, that's it. Just 5 seconds. That is the entire window of opportunity you have between having an idea and your brain completely shutting it down. Acting inside that window, well, that can change your behavior. And honestly, it can change your entire life.
Okay, so let's dive into this. First, we have to understand why we even procrastinate in the first place. And here's a spoiler. It's not because you're lazy. It's actually because of how your brain is wired.
See, your brain's main job isn't about helping you grow or achieve big things. Its number one mission is survival. So it's constantly scanning for anything that feels even a little uncomfortable or uncertain or difficult. And its default response is to protect you by making you avoid it. Think about it, right? Tasks like these, they all involve some degree of effort or discomfort. The second you think about doing them, your brain senses that discomfort and sounds this tiny little internal alarm that basically screams, "Nope, back away." So, the crucial point here is this. Procrastination isn't some flaw in your character. It is a deeply ingrained, totally automatic survival pattern. Your brain is just doing its job, trying to keep you tucked away in your comfort zone.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Because it turns out there's this critical, super brief moment when you have an impulse to act on a goal. And everything, literally everything, depends on what you do in that tiny slice of time.
So check this out. This slide shows the contrast perfectly. In those first 5 seconds, your prefrontal cortex, that's the part of your brain used for planning and, making good decisions, it's in the driver's seat. But if you wait any longer than 5 seconds, your brain flips a switch back to survival mode and poof, the impulse is gone. That hesitation, that moment you pick up your phone to scroll instead of opening your textbook, that is your 5-second window slamming shut. Your brain has successfully protected you from the discomfort, which means it's keeping you right where you are, stuck. All right, let's get to the solution. Let's see how this all builds into a simple, incredibly powerful tool you can use the instant you feel that hesitation creeping in. Okay, the trick itself is ridiculously simple. The next time you have an impulse to do something productive, you immediately, and I mean immediately, start counting down. Out loud is best. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the second you hit 1, you must physically move. Stand up, walk to your desk, put on your running shoes. Any physical movement will do the job. And this just nails the core principle, right? The countdown basically distracts your brain long enough to stop it from making excuses, and then that physical action completely shatters the state of just sitting there hesitating.
This right here is the key takeaway. The moment your body is in motion, your brain has to switch gears. It goes from fear and avoidance to focus and getting things done. The battle is literally won the moment you move.
So why does something so simple work so incredibly well? Well, there's some really powerful psychology at play here. When you start counting backwards, you're basically creating what's called a pattern interrupt. You're manually shifting the gears in your brain. You're breaking that old habit loop of thinking, then feeling anxious, and then avoiding. It just short-circuits the whole excuse-making machine.
This technique is actually a form of what psychologists call behavior activation. See, we almost always wait to feel motivated before we act, but this principle totally flips that script. You use action to generate motivation. Your body starts moving, and your mind and your emotions have no choice but to follow.
And look, this isn't just about getting the laundry done or starting a homework assignment. This is about rewriting your entire future, 5 seconds at a time.
Just think about how powerful that is. That one simple decision to stand up in that tiny 5-second window can be the difference between a totally wasted afternoon and a deeply productive one. Your whole future, who you become, the goals you actually achieve, it's all built on a long chain of these tiny 5-second decisions. Every time you count down and move, you're casting a vote for a more disciplined, more active, and more accomplished version of yourself. So the next time that idea pops into your head, to study, to work out, to create something, remember, you've got 5 seconds. The impulse is here, the choice is yours. What happens next? Well, that's up to you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.